Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. Diane Duffy joining us here, our psychic medium at Spirits Response. She's based out of beautiful Westerly, Rhode Island, and we're going to talk today more about her work as a spiritualist, what that means, and of course, how she can help you with her gifts and her talents. So welcome today. How are you doing, Diane?
Well, thank you. I'm great. I'm so honored to be with you. I've heard so much about you, so this is such an honor.
Well, thank you. I hope it's all good, right? I guess you'll see after you talk to me.
Absolutely.
She's not as nice as I thought, but thank you so much,
Aw.
really. I'm excited to have you here. I know you're a clairvoyant, clairaudient, all these things, and
Yes,
people might say, wow, what is all this? So we're going to get you to know you, I should say, one-on-one, if you don't mind, before we discuss some of the things that you're doing to
of
help others
course.
out there. So tell us about yourself. Let's get a little bit of your backstory and your history, and of course, I want to know when you discovered this talent, in a sense, right? Or this innate ability, I should say.
Great. Well, basically from the time I was a child, my mom was very intuitive, but back then in the 60s and the 70s, it was called The Sixth Sense. There was even a show on television that talked about the sixth sense. I believe it might have been in the 70s, but my mom and I were so connected intuitively, but we didn't know like what to do with it. We just knew that we could read each other's thoughts. So fast forward to my
All right,
aunt
and
who
where
lived
did you
next
grow
door
up
to
at? Where
me.
did you grow up? Just curious.
Oh, okay. So I grew up in Connecticut, in the central part of Connecticut, in a city called New Britain. And my aunt, who lived next door, my dad's sister, my dad will never forgive her for this. She went to mediums and psychics in Connecticut and New York. Okay. And she hooked me up with getting a reading at like 18 years of age, at which point in time they told me that I had this intuitive gift, etc. Well, through all these mediums and psychics, there was one locally that I had gone to that invited me to sit in a development circle and also got me involved in spiritualism, which is basically mediumship. It's a religion that believes in the continuity of life, and people can Google spiritualism. It's been around for centuries. Well, I went to this church, and what was lovely about it is they connected me with my loved ones, which was awesome. So I was getting messages.
Yeah.
I sat in the development circles. Now, when I sat in the development circles, I wasn't really getting mediumship. In other words, connecting to uh, folks' loved ones. But what did happen fairly quickly is I was able to channel from my own guides messages to people in the circles. So that was good. Fast forward again, now, going forward now into the early 2000s, what happened then was I was not happy in my mainstream job.
Which
I
was, if you don't mind me asking.
Oh, I had been working for a weight loss center that was soon to go out of business. So I did a little prayer and said, look, if I am meant to do readings, give me a sign. Well, that day on my job, it was not a good day. I literally, at the end of the day, clocked out and quit without having another job lined up, which is crazy, right? Well, lo and behold, the very next day, I had been making calls after I clocked out of work and even the following morning to various, new age shops, okay, shops that sell crystals, etc., and asked them, can I do a reading on you? And if you like it, can I be a guest in your store? Because I know that you have guests. Absolutely, come on down. I went, did a reading on the owner, blew her away, and the rest is history. I started doing readings. I started getting involved in holistic fairs and new age fairs and all of that. Now, with the market back in the 2000s, things kind of they went up and down. So I still went and segued into a mainstream job, but I had this as what I would call my side hustle ever since about 2010.
Okay.
And I'm retired now, but I do this as, a side hustle. And I've been side hustling since about 2010. The mediumship piece kicked in when I went to a development group for mediumship, and I thought, oh, I'm a psychic. I don't know if I could ever connect with somebody's loved one, right? Well, lo and behold, I sat with a young lady who was supposed to remarry her, which I didn't know this until after the spirit came to me and I gave her the message. Then she told me the story. I'm sitting there and I'm connecting with this lovely young woman, and a man came through, and it was heavy duty. I could feel this energy in my chest and this overwhelming love. I could see him in my mind's eye, the shirt, the boots, and all this sadness around him and all this regret. And basically, the message, what it was he died by getting
Wow.
killed in an accident
Ah,
by a drunk driver, which he wasn't telling me this, okay?
okay.
I just knew that he had
Yeah.
passed and he was here to bring her love. She told me the story that he was an alcoholic, which is why they divorced. He recovered, I don't know, many years, 12, 13, 14 years later. They stayed, connected as friends, whatever. And then they reconnected, fell back in love, and they decided to remarry. Unfortunately, he was killed in an accident by a drunk driver. Now, this is sad. This is tragic. Yes, not all of my messages and not all of my mediumship, occurs out of tragedy. It's just the way my guides introduced me and let me know. And this person, this loving man from the other side, was bent on making a connection to this lovely woman. So I gave her this piece through my gift, through the powers that be, to give some closure, some love, and all of that. And then as I did readings, I found that, we can't control what's going to come through in a reading. Sometimes Aunt Jean may come in or she may not, and it may be all psychic predictions,
Yeah.
things going on with people's jobs. I can't control the narrative. I ask my guides to bring what is needed for that customer that's for their highest and best at that moment. And that's why people come to me regularly, every 6 months, twice a year, once a year, because the messages evolve, they grow, they shift. One reading may be on someone's, adult daughter or son. The next reading might be about making a big decision about buying a piece of land or changing your job. And it's, once I get to know the person, again, the energy shifting, and we never know where the reading is going to go. But always they're given what's needed at the time, and my customers validate that always. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Wow. Well, thank you. It's always good to get to know you on a personal level and, how you became who you are and discovered these talents. And I want to hear more about I know you say you're a spiritualist. You've also joined, you said, a spiritualist church, and you said that's
Yeah.
amplified by gifts. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, it was a reading that I had gotten by a spiritualist reverend that got me to sit in these development circles. And I started not only sitting in the development circles, but I also, learned so much about mediumship and actually clairvoyancy as well, and clairaudient, clairsentient, through my mentors, who so many are now on the other side. And quite frankly, sometimes when I do a reading, these spiritualist reverends might chime in, they'll show me their face, and I'll know, oh, Mary Baskerville, God rest her soul, is helping me with this message. Or Al Ferenczi. Now, these are all deceased reverends that were my mentors. And sometimes they will chime in or let me know, hey, I'm going to help you with your reading. But um, they've taught me so much about signs. And I even tell the average person, when you see repeating numbers,
Yeah.
if you're driving down a highway and if you see a hearse coming in the other direction, it doesn't mean a bad thing. It means there's going to be a change. Something's going to go away to bring something new. And as in death, it's the dying of the body, but the spirit enters
Hmm.
nirvana, so to speak. So I try to tell people what not to be afraid of. Pay attention to your numbers, to your signs, your symbols, and I've learned that in with my mentors, and learning also about you know grief and how our loved ones will connect with us when we sort of let go of them. Just the average layperson can actually communicate and show the love, and the connection never dies when the person passes away. It's there. And sometimes it's just removing blocks within inside yourself to allow that connection to be. And I always tell people, if someone was a little feisty on the earth plane
Hmm.
and did some things that were maybe not so nice, okay, their personality doesn't really change when they go on the other side. They're in school, they're learning. So, they have the free will to still harbor some of their feelings towards you, maybe that were a little prickly, for lack of a better word, but the love is always there. So I tell people when they go to the other side, they're kind of reviewing their life. And so don't imagine that, Uncle John is now some angelic being. He could be a guide. I'm going to just shut that off.
Sure,
I'm
sure.
sorry about that.
It's okay.
Um,
It's
he
okay.
could be a guide, and he
Okay.
can assist. He can assist you from the other side. And we have so many loved ones that, depending on the connection, um, they will continue to be of comfort and guide us as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing this. And I also, for people out there new, to our show today, to you, I also want to dive into what you can do. I mean, I know you're communicating not only with loved ones, but you're receiving messages, even you say, from your own guides through all these different,
Mhm.
it's like sight, sound, right? You do it all. So I want to hear about how you're helping everyone. So there's so much to you. So continue.
Oh, of course, of course, of course. So when I sit down with a person and conduct a reading, I ask them to relax, to be open, to take a deep breath so that their energy centers are open. There's no pre-expectation, there's no thoughts, there's no focus. So the more not that I'm reading their mind, but I'm reading their energy. So the more open, the more relaxed they are. And I tell them, if I'm saying something to you and it's not exactly making sense, or you want to say, I think you might be talking about, um, and they might give a name, and this might be someone in the workplace, maybe that has been an obstacle. So I'll tune into that energy and say, yes, does this is this person heavy set? Does this person wear very high heels? I may be getting visions. And they'll say yes. And I'll say, have you had the feeling that this person is going to leave? And, I feel like you're not meant to leave this job, but I feel the person behind your back is out there on their lunch hour job hunting. And I might pick up on all kinds of things that's going to help that dynamic. I also sometimes see decisions between husband and wife. oh, we've had this piece of property, we don't know.
Yeah.
And I'll see the property, I'll feel this, and I'll say, yeah, you're meant to let it go. Or no, I see you holding on to it because I feel you moving there and selling where you're at. So I'm getting visions of, movement or decisions or, all of these different things. I don't do medical diagnoses, although I did have a client that was talking about headaches, and I kept feeling a laziness with the doctor that she had. I said, I'm not telling you to dump him, but I'm feeling that there's an answer with a second opinion. That's all I said, okay? Because I don't do diagnosing. Well, lo and behold, she got the second opinion. She did need surgery. There was a little growth, benign, on her pituitary. She got it taken care of, whereas this other doctor did not. So I take no credit for this. It's just I was getting, and I told her, you have free will, but I saw a laziness with the current doctor, and I saw like answers, and I saw something being taken care of. And I said, I don't feel this is going to be taken care of per se. So again, I don't want to get into, diagnostics. That's not how, and there are separate mediums that will do that, and intuitives. That's fine. God bless them. I'm not comfortable with that, but I can feel shifts and things, and sometimes tell people they're wearing the wrong shoes, or I'm telling somebody that they may be at someone's house and I'm not feeling comfortable with, you know, Susan and John's staircase by the deck, and all of these different things. I even had a vision last summer that I was not feeling like a particular acquaintance of mine was taking care of her deck per se. Well,
Okay.
lo and behold, she had a party and one of the boards started to go down. A gentleman felt it. He caught himself. All was well. She found out she had to replace the whole deck. So again, things come to me and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, my subject matters are all over the place with people. I can pick up on people's kids at times if there's something really
Can you pick up
big
on my
coming
kids?
toward.
I have two kids, Diane. They're 9 and 11, two boys. Or
Okay,
yeah,
sometimes I can, but sometimes children, because of their energy, can be hard to read unless they're presently with
got it.
me.
Got it. Okay.
But I can tell you that unlike a lot of young moms, I feel that the way that you're raising them is, I'm getting the word conscientious. You're not idolizing them. You see them with their good days, their bad days, their flaws, their strengths, and you have chosen to not idolize them, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like
Oh yeah.
no rewards for bad
If
behavior.
they do
The old
wrong, they will be punished. I will never enable my children because I came from a household where my mother did that to my brother, and he's now 50, and he's still, I can't use the bad words here, I could, but he's still not right. And my mom did everything for the one that's in trouble, and he's still not right. So, and I make it clear to them. I try my best to teach them right and wrong. They're all going to make mistakes. Of course, we're
oh,
all going
absolutely.
to. But
But
I don't condone bad
accountability,
behavior. I
yeah,
condone the love and the wonderfuls. And I love my boys. It's the best thing I've ever done, as hard as it is. I've always wanted kids, so I did it by myself. It was like I had no choice. I just wanted them so bad. So I have this love. Like, and we still co sleep, and people say that's hard, whatever. To each his own. I love it. We love each other. And yeah, I try to show them everything and teach them everything. And I'm very open and honest about everything with them.
I
People
love
can
this.
say, please wait, do not. I'm like, no. When mommy, it's that time of the month, I send him to the bathroom to get mommy's tampon. Like, they're open. We know about everything in life, and we talk, and it's okay. And we know bad, we know good, we know everything. We're not scared of nudity in the house. It's nothing to be ashamed of. So people, I have a very open way of, parenting. Some people don't agree, but it works for us and we're happy, and that's what's most important. And we just started counseling last week and we're going again tonight. I'm excited because no one's perfect. One son's a little defiant with me, and in school now he's not focusing enough, was diagnosed with ADHD, but I said, that's okay. My other son has anxiety. I feel like I have both of these qualities. So I said, you know what? Let's start trying to help each other, and let's try to be the best mom I could be, the best children, and let's learn how to have what is the word I'm looking for? Be a better family. So let's start talking to someone, because mommy doesn't want to yell if you're doing something bad. Let's all work together. So I'm excited for tonight. But yeah. Sorry, I just went on a little rampage about me, and that's not cool. Diane, this is about you, but I appreciate you asking about me. But you do help people, I'm assuming, like you mentioned, with their children, with their lives, even with past lives you mentioned, like those that have deceased, right? And do you
Yeah,
also, are you able to see into the future at all? Like, I get confused
a
because some
lot,
people are,
a lot
oh,
of
okay,
that,
because some
a
people
lot
are
of that.
mediums, tap into the past, right? Some also can see into the future.
I've done two very poignant predictions that I'm so proud of.
Can you share?
Yeah. So around 2008 or 9, maybe 2007, 7, 8 or 9, in that time frame, because I can't get the exact year, I knew that something not nice was going to go on with the stock market. And there was a big problem, as you know, back again, it's 7, 8, around that time frame. And I saw the New York Stock Exchange, and I just saw somebody doing something wrong. And again, it made the news. It was a big thing. So I predicted. But also, I can remember one day, it was at, I'm trying to think, it was around December of 2019. And it
Okay.
was a milder day. I'm pumping gas and I'm just watching the world. I'm at a busy intersection. And I said, you know what? I said, life is really kind of fast paced. And I said, and then I thought, well, a lot of it is Connecticut.
Yeah.
People are pretty manic in this state because that's the state that I'm from originally. And I just said, oh, I need to move south. I need a slower pace of life. And I said, I just feel like something is going to happen to kind of force people to slow down. I don't know if it's something I didn't know what was going to happen to slow something down. Well, I was picking up on COVID came how many months later? So I wasn't
Mm.
picking up on COVID itself. I
Yeah.
just knew that something was going on really fast. And somehow the universe, whatever you want to call it, that something was needed or going to happen to slow things down. Now, I wouldn't wish that time again on anybody, I would hate a repeat performance of what we all went through. But what I'm saying is prediction. If you want to talk about predictions, I was feeling an energy, and lo and behold, we ended up having that. And then the thing with I just saw a seedy man. I saw something with New York and the stock exchange, and I said, I don't know what this is. And lo and behold, about a month later, there was a big thing with the stock market. So yeah, I do predictions. I also told a woman that her daughter was forcing pregnancy to keep a guy, and I said, I know they're married, but I was like, there's got to be some free will. And if this guy's not happy with your daughter, and I know you told me she's a little high maintenance, getting pregnant may not be, the nicest thing. And I said, this isn't coming
Wow.
from me. This is coming from the other side. I said, I don't judge, but I'm just telling you, lo and behold, daughter ended up having a miscarriage. And then she did end up years later getting pregnant. And when she got pregnant with this husband, he was already mentally, emotionally checked out, and they are no longer together. So, I don't judge, but I do see things, and I will
Wow.
say it whether you like it or not. You know,
Fascinating. Well,
yeah.
we're almost out of time. We only have 2 more minutes left, Diane. I know it's our first show together. There's a lot to talk about, and I hope we have more
Yes.
time. Are we back again soon? Are you on for
Yes,
more?
next week, Monday.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. Well, how
yeah.
did you want to leave off for today?
Well, what I want to leave off today is how to contact me for a reading. This is so important. Go on Spirit's Response. That's Spirit with an S on the end, plural.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit's Response on Facebook. You can find old testimonials. You're going to find programs that I did, a couple of videos so there's all kinds of stuff on there. Okay. But to contact me, text or call. If you're too shy to talk, text me. And that number is 860-518-4136, or email Diane, Diane, the number 9, M as in Mary, P as in Paul, at gmail.com. But again, the phone number 860-518-4136. And we can talk about, doing a reading. I do half hour, an hour, and I read over the phone beautifully. There's no disconnect. It's just as good as in person.
Good. And over the phone or a Zoom, does it matter either
Oh
one?
yeah, I can do. Yeah, I can do. Yep, I can do. That type of thing as well. Video. Yeah,
Good. Well, thank you so much for being here. Pleasure having you and looking forward
it
to the
was
next
an
time.
honor.
Same here,
Oh, I
Diane.
really enjoyed my
Thank
time.
you. Thank you so much. Looking forward to chatting more again. And to all of our listeners and viewers, please stay tuned. We'll be right back with more after this. Have a great day, sweetheart. Thank you.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.